With Eddie Nketiah getting closer and closer to leaving Arsenal, it begs the question, have Arsenal done enough in this transfer market? For me, this transfer market, this transfer window has been very, very slow and painful as an Arsenal fan. We signed Calafiori very early on, and I really thought from then we could build on it, we could sign more players, but it seems that we hit a stopping break or a speed bump, and where it took us almost 3 months or 2 months, God knows how long, to sign Nico Marino. But of course, we have now signed Nico Marino, and things are looking to speed up with the transfer deadline approaching. Now, Eddie Nketiah, it has just been broken by David Ornstein that Eddie Nketiah is off to Crystal Palace. A deal has been agreed for around £25 million with £5 million add-ons. Of course, this was only followed up. Well, not followed up. Well, this was updated from the news last night, where the deal with Nottingham Forest, where Eddie Nketiah was close to joining, actually broke through. Apparently, the personal terms were not agreed, so he didn't join the club. And when that news came out, I'll be honest, I had a meltdown, because I really thought to myself, wow, we could have accepted the Marseille offer. We could have, had him sold then when he had accepted personal terms, and it looks like we're going to go another season without selling some of our players, and it looks like we're going to go in another season very short. But thankfully, Crystal Palace came in and saved our lives, because it does look like Eddie Nketiah is going to be leaving Arsenal very soon. In terms of Eddie Nketiah, I can only have good memories of him. I think when he was called upon, he did a job. Of course, he wasn't the best of players. He's not a world-class player. But one thing about Eddie Nketiah, you can never question his commitment. He's one of those players that would give it all in every single game. You could tell he's a very talented player, but I think he just needs some game minutes, and I'm sure when he goes to Crystal Palace, once he has those minutes, you'll see him flourish. And yeah, I think that's a good move for him. He stays in London, and he's going to be in a team where he will be the focus of attention up front. I think he's a bit better than Mateta in terms of technical wise, but of course Mateta is on a brilliant form right now, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. The next player we're going to be talking about is Reece Nelson. Of course, if we remember at the start of the window, Reece Nelson was rumoured to joining Leicester. I think it was a loan at the time. But since then, Reece Nelson, there's been no rumours or anything or reports linking Reece Nelson to an exit from Arsenal. But it does look like Reece Nelson could be staying. It all depends on if any offers come through, because when you look at the Arsenal team right now, in terms of our forward options, we don't have many options right now. With the injury of Jesus being sidelined, and of course the exit of Eddie Nketiah, our forward line is very thin, and it means that we currently have no backup to Saka, and Reece Nelson is the only player that can offer that. Whether Reece Nelson stays, Arsenal, I really don't know. I do think Arsenal are going to try actively push him out. Not push him out, but I think Arsenal are actively trying to find suitors for Reece Nelson. It all depends if we do find any offers for him. I do think Reece Nelson is one of those players similar to Smith Rowe, where I think he just needs more game minutes. I think if he gets more game minutes, you can tell he's a talented player, very silky, very, very good with his close control. I think he just needs more minutes, and I think you will see him flourish at another Premier League team if he gets those minutes. So for me, I think you should keep Reece Nelson. If we don't get any offers, well, we have to. I mean, that's a bit basic, but if we, I think if we don't sign someone, I think you're better off keeping Reece Nelson right now, because our forward line is very, very thin. I would only keep Reece Nelson if we don't sign anyone in the rest of the, from now till deadline day. The next player we're going to be talking about is Kiwior. Of course, with Kiwior, the signing with Calafiori, it has led to Kiwior's future being in speculations. Kiwior, if you do remember, he played a crucial part in our season, especially in the middle part of the season, where we went on that run, smashing 4 or 5 teams in a row, 6, 5-0, 4-0, 7. I don't even know it was 7-0, but we were thrashing teams, and Kiwior played a big part to it. I think you saw the best out of Kiwior when he actually started playing as a left back who didn't need to invert. I think when you saw that, when he was inverting with the instructions of Arteta, he didn't look too comfortable on the ball. But when he did switch to Ben White inverting, you did see a different version of Kiwior, and I think that is the best version of Kiwior. For me, I do think Kiwior is a bit better than Zinchenko. The reason why I would say that is because firstly, Kiwior doesn't get injured and is defensively very good. And when you look at Arsenal, one thing that Arteta is very much a fan of is being defensively secure. So for me, I would keep Kiwior over someone like a Zinchenko, but it does look like Kiwior does have more suitors to him. There are rumors of him going to Italy, but since then the rumors have died out. But I do think potentially he could be one of those players off. In terms of what offers we're going to get from him, I don't even know. When you're looking at Italian teams, they don't have that much of a big transfer budget. So you're going to probably be looking at maybe 25 to 30 million pounds. I would take that. I would take that for Kiwior. But even then, like I said, I wouldn't mind him staying, just because with how many games you are playing next season, I do think squad depth is a very important thing. Now, the next player we're going to be talking about is Kieran Tierney, a forgotten Arsenal player. Of course, Kieran Tierney, when he joined, I think he joined under the Unai Emery regime. When he came, what a player this guy was when he came on. He was one of those players that during the dark times, he was one of our shining lights. And if you remember, every single attack when we used to play with Kieran Tierney used to go down that left-hand side. But it just seems that with the injuries, with the constant injuries, it seems that Arsenal have now moved past Kieran Tierney. Of course, he's had some loans at Real Sociedad, and I forgot another team if he'd had a loan in. But the Real Sociedad loan has come to an end, and Real Sociedad didn't keep him. Of course, he had another injury there as well. So I think it's just a lack of the common injuries has just taken effect on Kieran Tierney. And for now, it doesn't look like if we're going to get any offers for Kieran Tierney. I didn't see any rumours. I didn't see any reports of Kieran Tierney being linked with an exit to Arsenal. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. In terms of whether he's injured now, I do not even know if he's injured right now. But yeah, I do think also this is another player also are going to try, offload. Kieran Tierney himself had even admitted that it's now best for him and Arsenal to part ways. Now, with that said, let's go on to the incomings. Now, it does look like with the injury of Jesus, we are very short up front. So, I mean, we needed a forward from the start of the window, but it looks like now we need a forward even more with the injury of Jesus. Now, and of course, the departure of Eddie Nketiah soon to be. For me, look, when you look at the options up front, for me, it's either a winger or striker. It really doesn't matter which one. But now, of course, there's been a lot of rumours of who also could be potentially signing in terms of that forward line. Some of the rumours are of Nico Williams, Raheem Sterling now being mentioned. Nico Williams would be an excellent signing, but Atletico Bilbao, I think, just gave him the number 10. So I do not see how Nico Williams will ever come to Arsenal right now, especially with his release clause, which apparently you have to pay all up front. So, and I don't think Arsenal are willing to do that, especially with this late on to the transfer market. But of course, you can't rule it out just yet, because Arsenal could potentially do it. They could do a Mesut Ozil 2.0. But in terms of this deal, I do think the Nico Williams deal is very unlikely. But all I do know is that we have to sign a new forward. Whether that's a striker or winger, I do not know what it is, but we have to sign someone. The rumours are that if Arsenal don't get the number 1 target, they are going to settle down for more of a number 2, like a Trossard-esque signing, where a player is willing to contribute, be crucial in the title challenge. Oh shit, I almost dropped my mic. Be willing to contribute in the title challenge, but at the same time be happy to sit on the bench. For me, I think that Trossard signing, we got very, very lucky and fortunate with that. I don't think right now there is that many type of Trossard-esque signings that you will find in the market. Maybe some fans might disagree and think Raheem Sterling is that one. Of course, Raheem Sterling has worked with Arteta, and some of the rumours are, which I pray and I hope, sorry, this flipping microphone. Yeah, thank God I finally fixed that microphone. But I pray these rumours are not true, that apparently Arsenal are interested in signing Raheem Sterling. Of course, Raheem Sterling is not having the best of times with Chelsea. Chelsea are freezing him out of the team. Apparently the number 7 is also gone, which he was wearing to Pedro Neto. So I don't know what is happening with Raheem Sterling. He's even made statements about the club saying that he was promised that he was going to be a part of the club and the future, but it looks like the club has now backtracked on that statement. So, and when you look at it, Mikel Arteta was asked about Raheem Sterling, and Arteta has, praised him and talked about his past relationship with him. And Raheem Sterling himself, during the Man City documentary, has talked about, has praised the impact Mikel Arteta has had with him. So there is that relationship with Raheem Sterling and Arteta. So, and that is what scares me, because for me, if I don't know, this isn't the same Raheem Sterling. If it was a Raheem Sterling that left Man City, I would have taken it. But this isn't the same Raheem Sterling. He's a bit of on a downward trajectory, I would say. I think that's how you pronounce the word. He's not the same Raheem Sterling that he was at Manchester City. But saying that, one thing about him, he does have the experience. He does have, he's still a good player. He's not a bum. He still does, he is still a good player, and he does have that experience. He knows what it takes to win the Premier League. Of course, he's won it many times with Manchester City. So it's one of those deals that I hope it doesn't happen, because I do hope that Arsenal have better options lined up someone who's more young, someone who's more hungry, someone who is willing, someone who Arsenal are wanting to integrate into the first team, play week in, week out instead of a number 2. So, but if Raheem Sterling does, if that deal somehow end up happening, I don't know what to say. I'm not gonna be too angry about it because I do see how it, I do see Arsenal's arguments for it and Arsenal's thinking behind it, but I just hope that Arsenal do get someone a bit more, a bit more in their prime, someone who's ready to fire us to win that Premier League, because the margins are so small right now. And Arsenal, I think in terms of our forward line, we're lacking that one player. Of course we have Saka, but when it's not Saka performing, we don't have anyone else that can bail us out. So I think in terms of that front line, we lack someone that can give us that X factor. And is Raheem Sterling that player? I don't know. Is Nico Williams that player? I believe he can be one of those players. So yeah, apologies for that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Of course, what's more important is your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Do you think Arsenal did enough in the transfer market, or do you think we're leaving ourselves short once again? Remember to like the video, remember to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.